All right, and joining me now is political consultant Jimmy Williams, South Carolina State Representative Gilda Cobb-Hunter, and MSNBC political contributor Jason Johnson. Great panel here at South Carolina. I'm going to come to you first, Jimmy. It strikes me that the things about Joe Biden that are causing him problems now, in a sense, are the very things that made him valuable to Barack Obama. Meaning he's from a certain generation, he's from a certain political and ideological orientation that is to the right of where a lot of Democrats, younger Democrats, are today.
Sure.
But even the sort of prickly stuff on race, the stuff that he wasn't necessarily great on, like busing, it kind of helped Barack Obama to have a guy like that on his team, to explain him to the white working class guy who might have been dubious about him and might say, I'm kind of like Joe Biden, right? I've thought like that before, but if he likes Obama, I do.
Right.
Do you agree with that? And can he recover from this debacle?
Well, let's take the first one first. Barack Obama may not have won had he not had Joe Biden on the ticket. Let's just be honest about that. He had no foreign policy experience other than being on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. That's it. He needed gravitas. He needed an elder statesman. He got one in one fell swoop, and it helped him immensely. Now, let's go back to the second
I don't know if I agree with you that he wouldn't have won without him, but I think he needed him.
I think he needed him. I think he needed him. No doubt he needed him, and he got what he checked that box. He got it for him. Great. Can he recover from this? I would say it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it, and he screwed that up in a way. I think we need to take a look at history here. No one's saying this about Ted Kennedy, the late Ted Kennedy, the stalwart liberal, the liberal lion. Last time I checked, Ted Kennedy bowed at the hands of Mr. Eastland, took the committee from Mr. Eastland, the Judiciary Committee. When I was a Senate staffer, I had to work with Jesse Helms. I've never met a worse bigot in my entire life, and my father was an awful bigot. He made Helms look like, seriously. But I had to work with Helms. I had to work with his staff. I had to deal directly with Senator Helms. And I knew who he was, but I still had to get it done for my boss, Mr. Durbin. I'm not excusing Joe Biden. Joe Biden needs to clean this up, and I think he should clean this up. But in the end, we can't hold people to a higher level than we hold all the other people out there in the Democratic Party. I think that's a mistake, but he does need to clean it up.
You're in politics. Gilda Cobb-Hunter, who is, I consider you also the dean of South Carolina politics. I always come to talk to you when we're here. There's a thing about comity in these Senate and House back rooms where people work with one another and have a chumminess about them that may seem inappropriate in public, but it's what they do to get things done, right? So you had Joe Biden eulogize Strom Thurmond. You had Trent Lott eulogize and sort of laud Strom Thurmond, got in a lot of trouble for it. But this is the kind of thing that the chummy back room people do, right? But it used to be the case that all the chummy back room people were white and male.
Right.
Now that the back room is full of people of color and women and younger people, can that kind of, what Joe Biden wants to go back to, that kind of comity even between people who ideologically disagree, is that even possible or appropriate anymore?
Well, I don't think it's possible. It's a matter of opinion about whether it's appropriate. And it's not possible because the Senate that Joe Biden served in is not the same Senate. That, to me, illustrates what he seems to not have a full appreciation of, and that is that these are different times which call for a different kind of campaign. And quite frankly, if he becomes president, he will have the same problem that Barack Obama did as far as getting the Senate to move. When you look at Mitch McConnell, when you look at his take no prisoners attitude, you can be as chummy as you want to be, but it's not going to be effective. And the bottom line for me, and I personally was not offended by Vice President Biden's remarks, but the point is there were a number of people who were. And my position is if you are running for president of the United States, if your comments were taken in a way that was not intended, then I'm having trouble understanding why it is so difficult to say, look, my comments were perceived differently than my intent. For that, I'm sorry. My issue with him not apologizing to people, not to Senator Booker, is it's causing this story to drag on. It's keeping us from talking about much more important issues.
Yeah, and I've had a couple sources sources tell me about this story, that it's a story that Joe Biden has told before a lot. I've heard tellings of it that he used to tell it as saying, he never called me senator, he always called me son. Had he told the story that way, it would have been a different thing. Adding the boy in there was weird and pointed, I think, for a lot of people. You're covering this campaign, Jason. It is a different Democratic Party now, because the back rooms that even were making great deals on civil rights were all white and male.
Right.
Now they're not.
So there's two issues that people have with this. Number one, the whole Biden campaign is running on this idea of let's harken back to the good old days when it was good white men fighting bad white men, and I'll go in and I'll handle this for you. And the problem is the current party is like, I don't want you to be a good white man and go into these elite spaces. I want you to tear down the damn door so other people can get in. And if Joe Biden doesn't appear to be that person, he's not going to be able to galvanize the base the way he needs. And here's the other problem, and Gilda sort of goes with this when she says, I'm sorry, his campaign is not sweating this. I've talked to them. They think this is going to be fine. They think this is a media situation and it's not going to affect them. And I keep saying this will trickle down. This will eventually become a problem.
Well, here's the thing, and Jimmy, you're Democrat judge. Let's put this poll up. This is the latest Monmouth poll. Biden is still on top. He's got 32%. But that to me says that not Biden has got 68%. So all that these other 200 candidates have to do is somebody has to become not Biden. And it strikes me that just talking to people at the fish fry yesterday, over 50, Biden. Right. Under 50, shopping.
Right. Welcome to the Democratic Party.
Right. So how does Biden survive the shopping? Because people will eventually shop and find someone who's not Biden who they can get passionate about, younger people.
Our very own Ali Vitale actually just reported on this. And let's be clear about this. It is Biden's race to lose. It was John Edwards' race to lose.
Yes.
We could go back presidential after presidential after presidential when everybody knew what was going to happen, and we were all wrong.
Yeah.
So this is a simple battle, an intra-party battle within the Democratic Party. Young versus old. And the people like me in the middle, 52, white male, progressive, pro-business, blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting there going, where the hell am I going? And guess what? That's what happens. That's my white privilege. I own it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But there is going to be a battle royale. It reminds me of 1976. It reminds me of 1980 when the Democratic Party was searching for its soul and got slaughtered in that election.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen this time if we are not very careful.
I think for Biden, he better hope it's not 1968 and he's Hubert Humphrey. But go on.
That's right. Yeah.
Kamala Harris, by the way, is going to come up soon, so I'm just going to let you all know I may interrupt you.
Okay, no problem. The other piece of that over 50 Biden, the shopping around crowd, is that there are all age demographics in that shopping around crowd.
That's right.
What people here need to appreciate is South Carolina has a total new crop of Democratic primary voters. Yes, it's majority black. Yes, it's majority women, but we've got a lot of progressive, thanks to Senator Bernie Sanders and the work that he's done, our revolution. There are a lot of shopping around voters who are over 50. And so our job has to be, all those Bernie people need to stay here and stay engaged and commit to voting if it's not Senator Sanders or the Democratic nominee. And the party, we as a party, we've got to recognize, we've got to reach out beyond party people if we want to win and just appeal to as many different kinds of voters of all age groups as we can.
So you've been going around talking with the campaigns. Who's strong here? Who's organized here? What have you seen on the ground?
So a couple of things. A lot of people have told me they think Biden's on-the-ground team is great. I was surprised by how many Tory people were at the fish fry last night. And
And
Andrew Yang.
A lot of Yang people.
I have no idea why that is the case.
Yeah.
You don't see Andrew Yang anywhere else.
The Warren people were the loudest, though.
Yeah, they were the loudest. So what you have down here, I think everybody recognizes the importance of South Carolina, but every single campaign quietly will admit this. None of it matters because Iowa is what makes a difference. Because if you don't win or don't do well in Iowa, half your volunteers will quit by South Carolina.
Yep. Okay. Kamala Harris is taking the stage. She's taking the stage. She's first to speak. Here she is. Let's listen. Oh, wait, no, she's hugging, so we can talk a little bit more. She's got a big organization here, Jason.
Yeah.
All right, she's starting. All right, let's let her start.
South Carolina. Oh, it's good to be in the Palmetto State. Thank you all. Oh, thank you. I just want to start by thanking you, South Carolina Democrats, because y'all have been holding it down. You've been doing what needs to get done. And it ain't easy. You make it look easy, but I know it's not. And I know that for everyone here, this is personal to you. You dedicate time from your lives where you have